The cake is out of the oven and it is so beautiful. Look at that. Oh my gosh, and it smells so good. So I left it in the pan for about 5 minutes before taking a knife and running it around the edge, and then that cake came out so beautifully. I don't know whether you can see this very well, but it just popped right out. And I have a cake plate that I put it on here, and then I've let it cool for about another hour before I frost it, because we want it completely cool, especially with this frosting, because this frosting is very rustic and it's very soft. It's not a piping frosting at all. It's just gonna be beautiful, and we're gonna put some unsweetened coconut flakes on top of it. So I'm gonna set the cake over here, and I have my hand mixer out. You could of course use your stand mixer. I've got just a couple of ingredients to put into my bowl. First off, I have got about 3 tablespoons of coconut oil, but this coconut, you see, oil is not melted. It is still in its kind of soft state. Coconut oil melts at 76 degrees, and although it's not 76 in this house, it's still not super firm. And then I've got some room temperature butter, about the same amount. What I'm gonna do is put those 2 in, and then I have about a teaspoon of just vanilla. Now what I'm gonna do is start my mixer. Let's see if I can get it moving over here, and just blend everything together. Now, I'm gonna start putting my dry ingredients in. And the dry ingredients include 1.25 cups of unsweetened cocoa powder. And when you buy your cocoa powder, what you want to look for is just one ingredient, and that is cocoa. If you buy a cocoa powder that says Dutch processed or processed with alkali, what's happening is they are processing the cocoa powder with the alkali, and it removes some of the antioxidants. So you always want just one ingredient in your cocoa powder, and that is cocoa. And the good news is the least expensive cocoa powder, of course, is not processed, so that's better. Okay, so I've got the cup and a quarter of cocoa powder in here, and now I'm going to put about 1/4 cup of coconut milk, and I'm doing this so that my coconut powder does not fly up over everything. I may need to put a little bit more coconut powder in just a moment. Some more coconut milk in just a moment, but we'll see. So here we go. Oops, I got a little bit of butter on my hand. So I'm just gonna stir this up a little bit before I put my beaters back in there, so that I don't have a big mess. Oh my gosh, that cocoa powder smells so good. And I'm using a lot of cocoa powder because it is good for us. It's heart healthy if it's just cocoa powder. And plus I want a really fudgy frosting. So here we go. I've got another one here. This is definitely a little messy, but oh, it's gonna be messy good. So there we go. Okay, I'll put these to the side. I'm sure I'll need those again. And now I'm gonna use my beaters again. And you can see why I say it's messy. But it's going and getting nice and creamy. And kind of coming out too. I did want to use my stand mixer because I wanted to be able to show you what it looked like as I went through. I'm going to go ahead and put that other 1/4 cup of coconut milk in. And I'm going to also start putting in a little bit of powdered sugar. Now you're going to have to judge when you put in your powdered sugar how sweet you want this to be. But I'm going to put a little bit in right now. And then I'm also going to grab my coconut milk because I think I'm going to need a little bit more than that. So let me grab it. And I'm just using the boxed coconut milk. what? I'm going to stir this up a little bit before I put anything else in. Here we go. That way I don't have a shower of confectioner's sugar. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. And it really smells delicious. Okay, it's getting to be just the right texture. I'm probably going to be putting a little bit more coconut milk in there and some more powdered sugar, and it's going to be perfect. All right, here we go. I'm going to scrape off my spatula right there. And here we go again. All right, this is going to definitely be a lickable bowl. Okay, I'm going to put some more powdered sugar in. And I'm just going to stir it up again before I do anything. That's the secret. I learned that in a culinary class in Provence, actually, many, many years ago. And I thought it was such a good tip that I try to pass it on whenever I can, because I've seen so many home cooks turn on their beaters and then they're wearing white. So there we go. Maybe a little bit more confectioner's sugar. A cup and a quarter of cocoa powder is a lot, and although I do want this to be fudgy and delicious, I don't want it to be too bitter with just plain chocolate. So let me move that over. I haven't used any more coconut milk yet, but I may. So the whole secret to making frosting like this that's super simple and super easy is the whole taste thing. I'm going to taste it again as soon as I beat it for just a second. And here we go. I'm going to wipe off my beaters. Okay, this is a bowl you're definitely going to want to lick. I've got a spoon. I'm going to taste it. Oh my, whoops, it was so good I lost my AirPod. Oh my gosh, that is delicious. And I never added any more coconut milk, so I used about a half a cup of coconut milk, a tablespoon of vanilla. That's about 2.5 to 3 cups of powdered sugar, and a cup and a quarter of cocoa powder, and it is perfect. Super fudgy and delicious. So I'm going to set this aside, and we're just going to frost this cake. Now, when I frost a cake like this, I like doing just the top. And I've noticed a lot in magazines on food styling lately that I am not alone. Just frosting the top makes it look more rustic, and my goodness, that's exactly what this cake is. This cake is meant to be delicious and fun and easy to make on the weekday as well as the weekend. And I will tell you, this cake freezes great as well. So here we go. And I'm going to have some frosting left over, which I will freeze. So of course, you could make a double layer cake using this recipe. I like making just a single layer cake because when you share this with 6 to 8 of your friends, it's the perfect portion size. So here we go. you see this frosting is really easy to use. And if you don't make it too thick, you can just put it right on. I love using the coconut oil. It makes it super easy to frost. So there's my frosting. And then last but not least, because it is a chocolate coconut cake, I am going to put some coconut all over the top, and people will know what it is. Okay. Oh my gosh, it looks so good, so pretty, and you see how easy it is. So that's the frosting for the coconut cake with fudge frosting. And here it is. It's gorgeous. I think you'd be thrilled to serve this up to anyone, your family or friends. So I hope you enjoy the chocolate fudge frosting on top of the easy coconut cake.